You know, life for me before coming here was very much a stage of being like a chameleon all the time. I had a decent job that I showed up to all the time. This is uh, this is the most recent stage before I've had many past other experiences. But immediately before coming here, I was still going to work. I was hiding my drug use from everybody, but people could tell. And I just, oh no, I'm just tired. Oh, it's hot today. That's why I'm sweating bullets, you know? Um, but I was constantly trying to just numb some sort of pain that I didn't even know what it was really. I ended up crying at work. Like, I'd have to take a break. I work at restaurants, and I'd have to go upstairs for 10 minutes and have somebody cover my tables because I just uncontrollably would cry. I mean, that only happened a couple times, but I didn't know what the problem was, but I just felt very lonely and like I was dying inside. Most of the prior treatments and rehabs that I've been to, I'd say the majority are basically incarceration based. Um, Although 7 years ago, I was incarcerated for 3 months, and then I had an opportunity to go to a rehab facility. And the only way that time worked, because I've been on probation and drug testing and outpatient groups and stuff, I had to completely remove myself from where I lived and move an hour away and no contact with anybody. And it was a 6 month, you know, first month like no contact thing, and then eventually it's like 6 month inpatient, but you got a job, and it was a big community, so a lot of support all the time. And then plus I had 8 years of prison hanging over my head, and then 12 months of basically aftercare, like 3/4 type house, group a week, one-on-one a week, going to meetings and stuff. And it did work, but you know, I don't, and I did a lot of therapy, but I never really addressed the same kind of stuff like here. And coming here was just such a big difference because first of all, I'll say that I did have like 3.5 years clean. I mean, 18 months of it was rigorously, with oversight. And so almost four years, almost completely clean and sober, not even cold medication. But coming here, dived a lot deeper into what the internal problem was, much more emotional, much more spiritual. And I mean, we talked about this kind of stuff before, but it was like very much 12-step based program, where this is learning how to fix your internal self first, and really taking a look at like what darkness is within you. And it's very rough, much more uncomfortable than other places, but at the same time somehow easier, or more gratifying, I would say, coming to a place like this. Absolutely. The community here definitely has something to do with the difference in how I feel. There's not as much external stimulation as far as meetings, girls, stuff like that. and people here are definitely more focused on the living, where at other rehab places you find a lot more people are there for courts or for parents or for somebody else. Most people that I find come here are because this is the last step before they kill themselves, either intentionally or accidentally, and they know that they're on that path. You know, there's so many things that I've learned here. Like a lot of the groups I've said before could be an entire semester worth of stuff. Keeping them all lined up and keeping track of them is a little bit difficult, but my thinking has definitely changed. Some of the tools, it's just like the stuff that we've worked on, just, you know, focusing more on loving yourself. And you can't, it's so hard to explain. Yeah, just I think a lot of the tools that I retain from here are kind of subconscious, but like I constantly think about them, which before they're not at the forefront of my mind, like balance and acceptance and you know, dealing with the inner darkness and the inner child and nourishing the inner child thing, which I'm still working on, but I didn't even know what my darkness was before I came here. And I like what I learned. You can't just run out of the dark. You have to stop and turn around and see what that monster looks like first. You have to confront it before, otherwise you're just constantly trying to run out of darkness and not know what you're running from. That's one big takeaway. I would absolutely recommend places like this for people not just with drug addiction. You know, I've known about this kind of treatment for 10 years. It's difficult when you're on the street and you don't have resources. It was like a fantasy, like, oh man, going to another country, I have to get a passport together, I gotta get money together. But if they're able to, and even with support, I would even help somebody come to a place like this. I would tell them, if you're really, really looking for a way out, or even a sliver of hope, and you hate other treatment places and stuff like that, just give something like this a shot. It'll crack your skull open.